I really feel humbled to be standing here to introduce my new book to you. And previously, we have been together for in some previous book launches also. And I've always kind of fictionalized stories, real life stories, based on sometimes my experience, sometimes those of my friends. And I would say this time also, in some ways, I have once again done the same thing. I have fictionalized, the real life stories of those who have lived in our spiritual texts, whom we have always revered and worshipped. So it is not easy going back in time and judging those who might have lived as per dimensions of those times. Because with time there is always a change in customs and traditions, and dharma of past may start sounding a little meaningless and sometimes unjust also. But the beauty of our spiritual text is that I've always found them very contemporary and very relevant. And I really don't think that they belong to any particular era. If you look around, you'll find those characters living very much alive, breathing, and struggling sometimes near you. And so, the most fascinating characters that I found is the female protagonist. They always fill me with lot of intrigue. And out of them, there is one character I am absolutely in awe of, and that is Sita. She has so many layers that I actually struggle to understand her. Here is she, Sita loved Ram, Ram loved Sita. But then he rejects her not once, several times. And Sita, she follows Ram in his footsteps. But then one day she gathers the courage to say no to Ram. Not only reject Ram, she also leaves behind her two sons with him, and she goes back to nature, to her mother earth. So is that how the story ends? Does she die in the end? For me, I always believe that she actually did not die. Maybe she saved herself that day. She liberated herself by cutting the roots of a culture that always slams women, that questions women, that judges women. And she put an end to her cycle of abandonment. So was it anger, hurt, disillusionment, betrayal that made her do so? Or was it wisdom? Because the others are very damning emotions, they pull you down, they never liberate you. So it must have been wisdom. And where was she getting this wisdom from? Was it her own experiences, or was she meeting other women? Women who had been subjected to abuse, who had been victims of curses, neglect, women like Ahilya. So very little is known about about the life of Sita in the years that she spent in jungle raising up her sons. So maybe she met these women and she gained the insight. Maybe she questioned the idea that what was the use giving up your life for a man, for a husband who one day tells you that he has no place for you in his life. Or what is the use, giving up all your life, being devoted to sons who very easily fall in the authority of fathers, who are very happy being successors to their father. Maybe they would not be understanding that why mother is not going to the royal court of Ayodhya and saying that she's innocent so that they can all be happy together. Or maybe she was meeting women like Parvati who reminded her that she was the daughter of nature. Nature which was always fair, unlike culture that discriminates. Maybe she was meeting women like Radha who told her that love is not always about staying together. Maybe she told her that there is more dignity in, living in waiting rather than being part of a life that you're not comfortable with. So, and I'm not, actually looking at them as God and goddesses, because that's a different perspective. Ram is God, he never abandons anyone. Sita is goddess, she cannot be abandoned. I'm looking at them as modern men, normal men and normal women, because their stories somehow represent the stories of women suffering in contemporary societies. So many overcome them, so many continue to suffer, so many do not even feel the need to liberate themselves and continue living loathing themselves. And that, I believe, is the worst thing to happen, because they are inflicting maximum violence on themselves. And for me, the trial that these revered women faced teach me that women have the power, they are the Shakti, and they are the ones who will liberate themselves. They do not need to plead to a man to liberate them. Sita realizes this in the end. She gets free by rejecting the patriarchal culture and accepting nature. Ram continues to suffer because he remains shackled to the culture. So friends, I guess that was something in my mind which made me write the book. That is the basic, I would say, the framework on which I wrote my book. And with this book, I have made 4 friends: Sita, Ahilya, Parvati and Radha, and I would continue making more, because this sisterhood between women, this standing for each other, is something very, very appealing to me. Because together we women can give each other courage, we can give each other strength, and we can give each other wisdom. So thank you all of you for coming here. I am sure we are going to enjoy today's evening. Dipankar would make sure it's not going to be a very, very serious one, and we have one person who I would ask Sheila to introduce us, who would really keep us laughing. Over to you.